students, welcome to Drishti IAS. The Russian president is on a visit to India, and in this video we are going to discuss what can we expect out of his visit. So why is he in India? He is in India to attend the 23rd bilateral summit of India and Russia. So India and Russia hold these summits alternatively in their countries, and this time it is happening in India. That is why Putin is in India to attend the summit. And what can we expect out of this summit? So the major discussions are going to be around strengthening the defense cooperation. Russia, we know, has been our time-tested defense partner for decades now, and during this visit also we are planning on strengthening that defense cooperation even more. In fact, if you look at the report of SIPRI, Russia is our number one arms supplier. Russia is our number one arms supplier. Then we have US also, we have France, we have Israel, but Russia is our number one arms supplier. Though the contribution has decreased over these decades. Earlier it used to be as high as 70%, 50%. Now in 2024, it was only 36%. The contribution has significantly decreased. We have now started diversifying our defense options, and we are also more self-reliant in our defense capabilities. But still, Russia is our number one defense partner. Russia is our number one arms supplier. 36% of the arms are still imported from Russia. So we have a very important and very significant defense partnership with Russia. And during these talks, we are wanting to strengthen that even more. Now, if you look at the backdrop over here, just a few weeks ago, we had also signed a defense deal with the US for Javelin missiles and Excalibur projectiles. That also was a very important defense deal. And despite the sanctions that US keeps on imposing on us, despite the penalties that US keeps on imposing on us for buying the Russian crude oil, we are still looking at strengthening our defense cooperation with Russia. And at the same time, we have not stopped buying Russian crude oil, because time and again, India has made it clear that we are only going to do whatever our national interests want us to do. And our national interest and economic interest is in buying the Russian crude oil. Though the quantities have decreased, but we are still buying the Russian crude oil. And here we are talking about signing more defense deals with Russia, having more defense negotiations with Russia. So A, we are looking at diversifying our options by bringing in new partners, and B, we are also trying to strike a balance between both these powers. We want to maintain proper, important, good bilateral diplomatic relationships with both these countries. That is why we have signed these significant deals. We are on the verge of these important negotiations with Russia, and we've already signed a very important defense deal with the US. So I'll talk about the things that you can expect out of this summit, out of this visit. But before I do that, let me just take you through the journey, the defense partnership journey of India and Russia. And then we'll be able to appreciate the new negotiations that are coming into picture. So this partnership dates back to the 1950s. 47 we got independence, and at that time we were solely relied on the British for our defense, for our arms, for our artillery, and that is when we started looking at other countries for defense partnerships, and Russia stepped in. Russia, in fact, was one of the earliest countries with which we had these defense cooperations. In the 1950s, we got our first cargo transport aircraft from Russia. Post that, we have received many important artillery, rifle systems, fighter jets, aircrafts from Russia, which I'm going to talk about. Like the most important one over here for years has been the MiG-21 fighter jets. So if you recall, something very humiliating happened in 1962. It was the Indo-China War, in which India had to suffer a crushing defeat. Back then, we did not have such important sophisticated weapons or fighter jets in our system. Now in 1963 we got MiG-21. And since 1963 to September 2025, like until very recently, MiG-21 has helped us win a lot of important wars. It has been standing strong in many standoffs, many escalations that we have faced. For example, the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971, the Kargil War, the Balakot airstrike. We have seen MiG-21 play a very important role in all these wars and all these standoffs. So this is how important our journey with Russia has been. And not just this, in fact, we even got our first submarine from Russia. The first submarine that was inducted into the Indian Navy was also a Foxtrot class submarine from Russia, which was inducted into the Indian Navy by INS Kalvari as INS Kalvari in 1967. So we even got our first submarine from Russia. We got MiG-21 from Russia. Then we also got a very important rifle system, AK-47 rifle system from Russia. And now there are also talks of developing the AK-203 rifle system jointly in Amethi. So we have had some very important partnerships, defense partnerships with Russia. Now when I talk about joint development, a name should come to your mind, which is BrahMos. BrahMos has been jointly developed by India and Russia. And BrahMos played a very important role in one of the very recent operations, very important operations that we saw for India, which was Operation Sindoor. Right? Operation Sindoor saw a heavy usage of BrahMos. It also saw a heavy usage of the S-400 Triumph missile system. S-400 Triumph was also used exhaustively. BrahMos was used exhaustively in Operation Sindoor. This is how important, like, the weapons, the fighter jets, the aircrafts, the missiles that we have got from Russia are for India. That is why in these discussions, in the current negotiations, there are going to be talks on procuring more S-400 systems, and not just S-400 systems, but also an advanced version, which is the S-500 Prometheus system. There are going to be talks of procuring the S-500 Prometheus system from Russia and the Sukhoi 57 fighter planes. Sukhoi 57 fighter planes, which is a 5th generation fighter plane. There is going to be a discussion around procuring Sukhoi 57 also. So S-500 and Sukhoi 57 are going to be our major areas of discussion and negotiation for strengthening this defense cooperation with Russia. So there are going to be talks around these. Apart from this, there is also going to be a discussion on leveraging the Chennai-Vladivostok Maritime corridor more. So this actually is an Eastern Maritime Corridor. Why? Because it connects the east coast of India, Chennai, to the far east of Russia, Vladivostok, and this is a very significant shipping route for Russia. It basically allows Russia to step away from the Chinese influence over here and have alternative shipping routes. So there are going to be discussions around leveraging this also even more, but the primary discussions are going to be around strengthening the defense cooperation. So let's see what comes out of the visit once it concludes. But that was all for this discussion today. Now let us practice a question for prelims. Consider the following pairs regarding recent India-Russia defense discussions. 1. S-400 Triumph is an air defense system. 2. Sukhoi Su-57, 5th generation stealth fighter. 3. BrahMos, jointly developed by India and Russia. Which of the above pairs is or are correctly matched? A. 1 and 2 only, B. 2 and 3 only, C. 1 and 3 only, or D. 1, 2 and 3. Please provide your answers in the comment section and we will meet in a new video. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.